Hey YouTube. So I figured I'd make a little short video on the Inseego Mifi hotspot. I got this because I intend on, or have been traveling more and more. I have this through the Calyx Institute, so it's the one that actually is a true unlimited hotspot. It's based upon the old Sprint contract that T-Mobile acquired. Anyway, this video isn't so much about the actual device and the unlimited data. It's mostly about how to get a better setting out of it by going inside and tweaking the location, not the location, but the settings inside that tell it what type of signal it's going to accept. Because when I was doing my testing a few days ago when I was out in my RV, I noticed that I was able to get decent speeds. However, then at times it would just drop to nothing. It would go into 4G mode, very, very slow, which makes no sense because I have a tower that's not too far away. So what I noticed is by going inside of the unit, I can actually get it to increase by changing a few settings in the advanced. So I'll show you how to walk through it. You go into the menu. Oops. Go into menu, go into settings, and it's under network settings. And right now I have mine set to 5G. And this has to be done through your interface, which would be basically your cell phone connected into it. But I have it set up on 5G, SA, single aggregate mode. And what that does now is that forces it into only accepting a 5G system. And single aggregate holds a much better connection than what it does if you let it go into automatic. So I'll see if I can get it on my cell phone and show you this other part of the video where you go inside and make the changes. Here we go. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully I should be able to attach these two pieces of video together. So right now we're going to go into settings. Gonna move this little thing around. We go into here. And let it reconnect. Oh, actually I gotta connect it into that device first. There we go. It'll beep. Okay. Go. Put my password in for the admin. There we go. Alrighty, so here's the back-end settings of the Mifi hotspot. What you want to do is you want to go down to advanced. And you want to go into cellular. Alright, so right here, why the screen's so big? Right here is where you can do your drop downs, and there's your options. So in order to get the fastest speed out of it, as long as you are at a 5G tower, if you're not, leave it set to auto. You want to set it to 5G. And then under 5G network mode, now this one you may have to play with. I set mine to SA, single aggregate. You can put it to NSA. It all depends. Then it's going to use multiple pieces up and down. So it's not going to use one standard stream. It's going to change the stream setting. So there's that setting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this because I am down in the basement right now. So I barely have any signal. But I'm going to pause this and walk up to the bedroom window where the tower faces, and then I'll do a speed test, and then I'll make a modification and do a speed test so you can see. So hold on. Okay, so right now it's now facing the tower, and I have about 4 bar, which is pretty good. I live out in the country. So we're going to go ahead and run a quick speed test. And let's go ahead and start.
So there's my speed, 217, 27 up, which is not bad. I'm pretty far away from the tower. Now, if I go in and make these changes, because for when I leave it in automatic mode, it switches back to 4G. Very upsetting. So that's why I don't leave this in automatic down here. So there's 4, and then the aggregate mode disappears. We'll make that setting change. Got to reconnect to the signal. I may have dropped that one altogether. Takes it a while. I'm going to pause it while it's doing that. Okay, just reconnect it to it. Do a quick reload. There we go. So there's my 4G up top. You can see it's 2-bar. Now that's what it defaults to where I live. Or if I use it for a while on 5G, or just if I leave it in fully automatic, like out of the box, make no changes, it'll start off in 5G, and then partway throughout the day it just changes, and then the speed drops like a rock. So let's do this. I mean, is it usable? Yes, it's usable. And if the tower was super congested and there was no 5G room, then yes, I'd use it. But it's the upload that I'm mostly looking for, because otherwise I can't do voice calls. So I'll run it one more time. Yep, gets a little bit better, but it hovers around 3 at the most. Alrighty, so go back into here, and then when we go back over to here, also, you don't want to set the network manually, just so you know, you will not be happy. So don't make changes that you can't get back to, otherwise you'd have to reset it from scratch. So what you want to do is you want to go back in here, select the 5G. Now, you can leave it to auto, so I'll show you what happens if we leave it in auto. It's going to restart the system. I'm going to pause the video while it reloads. Alrighty, just reloaded. Let's go back to the page. Alrighty, so it's set there. It's a 5G auto. Go up to here. Now this is where it could grab multiple bands going up and down, depending on what it wants. So you could leave that in auto mode. I just seem to find that single aggregate just has a much stronger, consistent data speed than automatic. But we're going to do 2 tests. So this is the first test. So we're about 219 down. 12 up, we're going to do it again. A lot of times the second test usually will run a lot faster. All right, so this is the second test, 239, 23. So now, if I go back in here and I change the network mode to single aggregate, save. I don't know if it's going to reboot on that save. Can't remember. No, it doesn't. It just, because it's just changing the network mode. Alrighty, so now, back up to here. Oh, it did temporarily drop it. Alrighty. There we go. Connecting back in. So run the first speed test. And I'm not so much concerned about the down. I know a lot of people are really worried about the down, but in reality, you don't need a lot of down unless you're doing something super crazy or streaming multiple systems. You only need like 50, 40 typically. But the up is what I'm mostly concerned with. Alrighty, so here's the second test, which is always a better test. So it's actually kind of walking around the same as with in the auto mode. However, either way, just play with the settings, see what seems to work best for you in your area and location. Obviously, leaving it automatic if you're unsure about any of these. But if you're noticing partway through the day, all of a sudden your speed just drops like a rock and nothing's changed, there's no weather, there's no interference, just go in and change those settings to manual. You might be quite surprised and impressed with how well you're able to do after making those few little setting changes. Well, I hope this helps somebody. It helped me a heck of a lot because I was losing data speed and I couldn't figure out why. And the moment I switched it, held like a rock, never changed, never had a worry in it after that. So anyway, enjoy.